Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, hasn't it? I really missed filming. I had my reasons for it. I really needed to take a break to catch you up on what happened during the last month. I don't think I've ever mentioned it on this channel, but I went through a breakup last year. Those things obviously take time. And just when I started to feel okay again, I got hit by a wave of migraines caused by various stress factors in my life. And unfortunately, these migraine attacks really limit what I can do with my daily life. But don't you worry, I have a lot of doctor's appointments lined up and I hope we'll be able to help me. I have good moments, like right now. One of the reasons I wanted to come back to YouTube is to document the good moments in my life. Not because I want to paint a perfect picture. You know, I've never done that. I always liked to share the bad and the good with you. But after everything that has happened over the last month, I'm really craving some positive energy. And whenever I document negative things on camera, I always have to go through them again when I edit. That's different to documenting something in a written diary, for example, because I don't have to read it again or only a month later when I'm already over it. So I actually want to use this effect of feeling an emotion again while editing for myself by documenting the good things in my life and reminding myself that those moments exist, and that gives me energy and also helps me to go through, for example, migraine attacks. Because I know that it will always get better again and that I have a lot of really nice and great and beautiful things in my life too. One of them being my best friend celebrating her birthday 2 days ago. Fun fact, I've been wanting to start the video before her birthday, but I had so many headaches that I couldn't. So we're here now, it's fine. I took a few video clips to insert now while I tell you what I did, because I obviously can't show you the present anymore. She already received everything, but I wanted to document it here for maybe some inspiration, and also because it was a nice memory for me to prepare everything for her and just, like, you know, to think about stuff that she might like. One of them I ordered already a while back, and it's a coloring book. And I also have one because I saw I think 2 besties on TikTok sharing their colored pages, and it was so cute and funny to see the differences between the 2 women who painted it, and I wanted to do that with her too. This is the book, and there are multiple others like this one online with different themes, but this is the one I got for us, and I think it won't be the last one I order, but there's so pages. It will take forever to color it all in. I knew she would like this because we have been coloring in mandalas before, and she's actually also the kind of friend who, like, literally encourages me to color outside the lines because I'm such a perfectionist, and she's like, chill, you can just color in the way you like, nothing bad will happen. It's good to have a friend like that. Shout out to you. Then I obviously also wanted to get her flowers, but I was like, she has a lot of amazing friends, and most likely most of them will bring flowers, if not all of them. Flowers and cake. And that was the case. She had so many birthday cakes, and I love that for her. I also brought one. And for the flowers, I thought she might need another vase, and I bought it from Hotel Amio. I think it's called like that. Because I know that she likes their, like, tableware, and bought herself some recently, so I thought I'd buy her a little vase with green in it and a light, very light pink. I think those aren't her, like, #1 favorite colors in those shades, but it was the closest I could get to her favorite colors, so that's why I chose it. And I bought pink tulips to match with the vase. Then I also found this little silicone shape thingy that you can use for baking, and it has butterflies and ladybugs, and you can bake them. And I decided to do that instead of a cake because I bought a cake that reminds her of her childhood. It's like a Benjamin Blümchen Torte. The German speakers will know what I mean. It wasn't a part of my childhood, but a lot of my friends always got it for their birthday. Benjamin Blümchen is like a childhood icon for a lot of us. For me too. I just never had the cake. He's an elephant, by the way, in case you were wondering. And then I also wanted to have one like handmade kind of thing, something where I get a bit creative, and I really wanted to give her a tablecloth? No, is that what it's called? I have to look it up. Jokes on me, it is actually a tablecloth. But because she has a really beautiful round table that can also be like elongated into an oval shape, I thought I will just get a small one that she can place in the middle, maybe put the vase on it, some flowers, candles, whatever, and then you can sit around it and just eat on the normal table or have some sets or whatever. But it was so hard to find proper beautiful tablecloths, so I actually ended up buying a tea towel and then I used some fabric paint to write her name on it, because it's also her first apartment that she has all for herself, and I don't know, I just thought writing her name on it would be kind of symbolizing that it's all about her now, you know? And then obviously I got her a card with a cute little froggy on it, and it was also pink and green. And I shed a few tears while writing it because I got so emotional having such a great friendship in my life. Yeah, I really love my friends. Doing both hearts is like early Gen Z core because we're friends with so many millennials. Yeah. The birthday itself was wonderful too, but I don't want to share too many details because that's her life and her privacy. Not really my space to tell, but I really enjoyed it. I met a lot of her friends and like new people in her life that I haven't met before, which was absolutely beautiful and heartwarming, and I just love these kinds of things when you meet really good friends of really good friends and everybody's just, you know, really enjoying being together and the energy matches well. Amazing. So moving forward with this vlog, you can expect to see me catch the positive moments in my life. So this will definitely be a good vibes vlog. If I feel like sharing that I had a migraine again, I might do that too, but I mostly want to focus on cute and fun and good stuff. And I have so many crafty projects lined up too. I mentioned earlier that I'm a perfectionist that never starts stuff, so I might use this vlog as motivation to get things started and to just do it. Yeah, we'll see. Definitely feel free to leave a comment. Those make me the happiest. Thank you also to everybody who has commented while I wasn't posting and like checking in on me. That is so sweet because we don't even know each other and you're like, she hasn't posted, and that's just the sweetest thing. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next clip. Hello! Another day, another good moment. I just came back from therapy and we had a really good session today. I loved it, but I also had a good few last days, so we didn't really have much like heavy stuff to talk about and could dig a bit deeper into, like, you know, some patterns of mine and stuff. So that's good. That's where the real work begins. And yeah, so I'm feeling lighthearted even after therapy. And I bought some tulips, pink and purple, because it's my flatmate's birthday tomorrow and purple is her favorite color. So I'm gonna hide these in my room after I've arranged them. And it already looks so pretty. I think this is actually a vase that she found on the street or something, or very cheap on the flea market, not sure. But it's the first time I'm putting flowers in it. It had tulips in it before too, but they were not alive anymore. So time for something new. I hope she doesn't notice that the vase with the old tulips isn't there anymore this evening, but I bet she doesn't. And then tomorrow she'll be like, oh, fresh flowers. That's the plan. I got rid of so many leaves already, because otherwise it wouldn't even fit in the vase. And I actually met my next door neighbor in the supermarket where I bought the flowers. And it was so nice seeing her because she only moved in at the end of last year. And we haven't talked that much since, because I guess she was probably busy with uni and I had, you know, my stuff going on in life. So yeah, we had a short but sweet chat. I'm honestly really lucky to live in a house where there's so many nice neighbors. Flowers are all done. Oh, if this doesn't scream spring, I don't know what does. Yay. Hello! It's been a while since I last talked to the camera. I can't speak. I am actually doing something exciting right now, so I wanted to show you. I have a few pieces that I haven't been wearing. It's this color and white shirts that aren't exactly white anymore, and I want them all to turn red. It will obviously be different shades, but I've never done this before and I wanted to document it, so you can also see where it's going. So these are the pieces before. It actually looks quite nice, but it's just like not 100% my color, so I'm not wearing it a lot. I've had this for ages. It's quite cute, but it's also, I don't know, I don't really feel it anymore in white. I want it in red. And then just a normal shirt that turned like slightly yellow from sunscreen and stuff up here. But it has still really good quality, so I want to keep wearing it. So it's going red too. Yeah, let's see how the pieces turn out. This is my very unprofessional setup, by the way. The color is already in there and some hot water. Now we're gonna put it all in there. Yeah, I'm gonna wear gloves in a second. This is the color I'm using, by the way, and it's supposed to stay in there for like an hour, and you have to stir it frequently. Yeah, I'm excited. I already love the color, but I think it's gonna be even more intense, and you can see that different parts of the blouse will have different shades, which is amazing. And I think the green one might turn out brown, which is also fine because that's also a color that suits me better than that shade of green. But maybe it will be a really dark red too. We'll see. Hi! It's a random Sunday evening. And I just had the urge to pick up the camera again, and I thought if I don't do it now, I will not do it for a few more months. So I did pick it up. I'm currently here with my tea and I'm transcribing. Is that a word? Oh my god. I'm neither used to vlogging anymore nor speaking English, so bear with me. Battery is also almost dead because I have not charged this camera in months. But because there are quite a few big changes in my life right now, I think I will regret it if I don't document this phase. So I did pick up the camera and I'm just gonna take you along again. As you can see, I'm also in my new apartment. So yeah, we'll get into the whole moving thing at some point. But right now, I want to share my current project with you because I'm working on a whacking musical, not just me. A group of people, and there's a few people who are like a lot more involved than I am, but I took on a really nice fun part for me, which brought back some journalism studies memories. And I did 2 interviews with people from our whacking community. If you don't know what whacking is, whacking is a dance style. You can look it up, and if you follow me on social media, you might have seen me do it too. It's mostly arm work. And we want the script of our whacking musical to be representing the community as much as possible and like get inspiration from the community and stuff. And therefore we are interviewing them, or we did already interview them. And now I'm putting the interviews that I have recorded on my phone into text form so we can work with them further. And not gonna lie, it takes ages. And I can already, like, my hand and the nerves in my arm are hurting because I am not used to typing on the computer for that long anymore. But it's also fun and like really precious to me right now because the interviews were so good and we got so much input, which is really, really great. And I'm really thankful for that and excited for everything that's to come with the musical. It's gonna take a long time because we're really taking it seriously till it's on stage, but I will definitely announce it once it's possible to see it in a theater somewhere or like just on stage. So let's keep going. Wish me luck. Good morning. It's only the next day. I didn't expect myself to vlog this quickly again either. I'm like, I literally fell out of bed because I got a message from my friends that there's snow in Berlin. I get excited like a child, or like just like a happy adult when it's snowing. Honestly, I was in bed and like, oh, I don't feel like getting up right now. I'm tired. Then I read the message and immediately had a complete mood change. Jumped out of bed and checked the window, and there is snow. I'm just a bit scared that it will melt away right away. So I put this on top of my pajamas. I'm gonna put a pair of sweatpants on top of my pajama pants, warm socks, and then I'm gonna go outside for a morning walk. First day of the year, these boots actually make sense. Although I have to say, because I always have cold feet, for me they make sense even in autumn. So beautiful out here, but it's also not as cold as I thought, so I don't think the snow will stay for very long, unfortunately, but I'm gonna enjoy it while it's here. Another day, another video clip. I have edited everything you've seen in this vlog already now. Already? That sounds kind of funny when you think about how long it took to film it all, but whatever. During filming I noticed that I never showed you the results of the clothes, so that's what I'm gonna do first now. The turtleneck turned out like this. It's honestly not the nicest color, let's be completely honest. I think I preferred the color before, just visually, but I stick to what I said before. I don't think the color before suited me very well. I don't think this one does either though. So I might try to put some other color on top of it again. Not sure, we'll see. But yeah, this is how it turned out. I have worn it a few times, but not a lot. The next one is quite cute. It's not red though. It's very interesting how the colors turn out. It's this kind of peach color, coral vibe, and yeah, I do wear this much more again now, so I've definitely given this one a new life and I'm very happy about that. And the last piece is this one. It did turn out to show different shades. This part of the fabric took the color way better than this. This is probably polyester, so I think that's why it didn't work, but I think that's quite cute. And I have worn this too until I ripped it somewhere. I can actually not see where right now, but it's definitely damaged quite a lot somewhere and I will have to fix it. I'm like, where is it? Oh yeah, here, under the arm. It's also very thin fabric, so I hope I will be able to fix it and still make it look nice. But yeah, those are the three pieces. I did actually end up doing a few more, a hoodie and some other stuff, but I didn't quite like how most of them turned out, so I ended up donating most of it. I also wanted to sit down here to share some more stuff with you, to catch you up a bit more. This is mostly for the people who have been following my journey here on YouTube for a while. You've seen me go through so many parts of my life, and I kind of feel like I want to catch you up a bit on what was happening while I just disappeared. In the beginning of the video, I already mentioned that I took a break because of the breakup and then how I got the migraine attacks and stuff. But there is more to all of it than just that, and I think a few months back I just wasn't really ready to share it all. Partly because I was still in the middle of it. Thinking about it now, also because there was still a lot of stuff I didn't know about myself and circumstances. So let's get into it. When you watch my videos back, you can tell that I've been struggling to make my work and everything flow for years now. When I ended high school, I was so full of motivation and I couldn't wait to get into working, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I couldn't wait to start studying and, you know, do my au pair year and everything. Moved to Berlin, everything was so exciting. And for a few years, I was really like at my prime. I was really good at my studies compared to school because it was something I really enjoyed. And it was very specific to what I wanted to do. After finishing my studies, I started a few different jobs and also tried to make YouTube and social media and self-employment in general work. At the beginning, it was a lot of fun because I was okay with still having support from my parents. I was just starting out. I was figuring stuff out. It felt pretty normal that these things take time and not everything will go the way you want it right away, or like success won't come overnight. I was always very goal focused though, like I knew where I wanted to go, and that never really changed, although I tried different ways to get there. When it still didn't work after trying for a few years, I started to get more and more self-conscious about it though. And that was the time where I started to speak about burnout on YouTube and all the struggles that came with self-employment. During that time, I started to question whether I was still on the right path and whether my goals were still the right dreams to chase. Because if you try for so many years and it just doesn't really seem to get going, it starts to get frustrating and also scary. Even though I'm so lucky to have the privilege of my parents supporting me financially and also like just as parents emotionally, I'm the kind of person that has always really loved their independence and their freedom, and I've wanted to do my own thing ever since I was, I don't know, maybe 13, maybe even younger, I don't know. I couldn't wait to move out. I couldn't wait to travel to the other side of the world. I couldn't wait to be self-employed and not work for somebody else. And I even tried to work for other people because I was like, okay, maybe this could help me. Maybe I could get some inspiration. I also need to earn money and, you know. But no matter what I tried, I would start feeling unwell. I would start to burn out. I would start getting more headaches, being constantly stressed, and I could just tell that those paths were not for me. It almost felt like my brain was not built for my surroundings. And I always came back to that one thought of wanting to do my own thing, creating my own surroundings that would keep me healthy and happy and eventually successful in what I want to pursue in life. At first, I only considered my dreams as dreams. And I always kind of knew I really want to do this. But moving forward, I noticed more and more it's not only what I want, it also starts to feel like the only way that I could actually live in health. But at the same time, those healthy circumstances that I was trying to create for myself, the self-employment, getting to that point where I could work within that independently and make enough money to support myself was so hard. And the way to get there was what eventually made me burn out again. And that was like summer last year, I'd say, when I also started going through the breakup. So a lot of things were happening at once. And apart from the breakup, there were some other things involving people that are very close to me and very dear to my heart who also struggled. I was really trying to use all of my energy to help those people while also trying to kind of survive myself. I think it's very understandable that I cannot get into too much detail about things that don't only involve me but also other people in my life, because I want to respect their privacy. But I think I can say as much as that one of the biggest reasons for the breakup of my romantic relationship was that I really had to put myself first and take care of myself, and was not able to be the kind of partner anymore that she might have needed. And although there was never any bad blood and we agreed on the breakup, it was still a very painful time in my life. But I still think we did the right thing and it was a very mature decision to make. And I know this sounds a bit cringy and cliche, but I think it was one of those situations where loving each other is not enough when there's other circumstances that keep telling you you have to take care of yourself first. I think the breakup kind of kickstarted my healing journey in a way. And towards the end of the year, I was also finally lucky enough to find a therapist and start sessions. I remember that is something I also shared in the vlogs because I got really excited about it. And now, almost a year later, I have actually finished therapy and I have learned so much about myself. It's literally mind-blowing. Do you hear the music in the background? Because I think either below me or above me in the apartment, somebody's playing a guitar, but connected to like a huge speaker on a Sunday. In case you didn't know, on Sunday in Germany you have to be quiet. A peaceful, quiet day for rest and silence. And I really appreciate that about Germany. As a very sensitive person who needs her quiet space. We will actually get into that in a second because it's one of the biggest learnings of my therapy sessions. Before I get into my diagnosis, I want to stick to the timeline a bit because something else had started to feel off in my life, which was my living situation. You know, I shared an apartment. We lived together for 5 or 6 years, so a really long time. And for some time our lives were really aligned, so it worked really well. But during the last year or so of me living there, it started to match less and less because we just had different needs and interests and like all that kind of stuff that can start to matter when you live together. I have also always wanted to live alone, but because it's really hard to find a place to live in Berlin. Back when I came back from my au pair year from Australia, I had the opportunity to move into this WG, this shared apartment, and I met my flatmate through a mutual friend. And at the time it just seemed like a really good opportunity, and I also don't regret that decision. But towards the end of it, I could feel more and more that it was finally time to actually live alone and to look for my own place. And because this was a time where I was still struggling and starting therapy and stuff, and I was also trying to recover from my burnout symptoms and trying to manage the constant migraines I had, it was a very difficult time and it was very stressful to look for a new place. And when after a few months I finally found this apartment, I was the most relieved and happy person ever. I'm so eternally grateful for this apartment, for giving me a space to properly heal in, not having to adjust to anybody, totally focusing on myself, and that was really so needed. And then about 2 or 3 months ago, I got a very interesting diagnosis in therapy, which is ADHD. It makes so much sense and it literally turned my life around completely. When I got the diagnosis, my therapist and I already kind of felt like, I'm not really bringing that many topics to the sessions anymore. Maybe we could end them soon. And I was like, I've always wanted to get tested for ADHD because I have a feeling I could have it, but I'm also super unsure because of everything that you see online, and there's so many different types in a way. And it confused me so much when symptoms didn't match mine. But then again, I was like, but there are so many that do match me. And my therapist was like, yeah, sure, we can think about ending therapy in 2 to 3 months towards the end of the year, and we will still have enough time to test you for ADHD. So we started doing that. And surprise, I did end up having it. Even when we just started doing the diagnosis thing, my therapist was already like, I'm pretty positive you have ADHD. And my best friend Louisa and I also talked about it. We were both like, at this point it would honestly be more surprising if I don't have it, because what would we do then? But yeah, luckily I did get the diagnosis. I'm doing the quotes because I don't think you're lucky to have ADHD in this society because it makes life much harder. But when you already know something feels very off, it can be such a big relief to finally understand what feels off and to be able to name it. And the more I learned about ADHD, the more I understood what had been wrong all the past years. I have definitely struggled with symptoms of ADHD ever since I was born, or ever since I can remember. But the symptoms were definitely different as a child. And then during certain times of my life where I could really be myself, the symptoms weren't really bothering me that much. Of course, sometimes in certain situations, yes, but it only started to properly hit me and started to negatively affect my life when I started working, getting into my career. And that's actually a very common thing for women with ADHD, because as I mentioned earlier, my studies were something that I was so interested in, so I was really good at it. And maybe you remember from the vlogs, I had these weekend seminars, meetups online, because it was during the pandemic, once a month. And everything in between, I could structure myself. And that was amazing. Not saying I'm very good at structuring or organizing, but I had enough time to do it my way. So I was able to do it. And I even graduated with honors because the circumstances were aligned with my needs. And I'm definitely not saying this to show off or anything. Succeeding at something within a system that's built for neurotypical people and not neurodivergent ones is very rare for ADHD, and also was rare in my life. The school system I was in did not work for me. Certain classes worked better than others, but overall I've always had symptoms of like getting headaches a lot, feeling unwell, feeling sick, always overstimulated. So my studies really gave me some confidence that I can actually succeed in stuff when the circumstances are right. I did not really understand that it was all connected to ADHD back then though. I just thought like, yeah, well, that's just the way I am. And that works for some people, you know? Sometimes you don't need a diagnosis. Sometimes you just need to understand yourself and figure out a way in the world. But for me personally, this diagnosis was overdue because, as I mentioned earlier, I started to question my dreams and my goals, which have always been so close to my heart. And I only started to question them because I was in the wrong system. Not because my dreams were wrong or not because there wasn't a way for me to pursue them. I just didn't really know how. And now, knowing I have ADHD, it almost feels like I've been given a second chance to start over. I like this metaphor of thinking that I've been walking in the wrong shoes, like in neurotypical shoes, for 5 years, trying to make my career work. And now, with the diagnosis, I finally know that I do not need to change my career or my goals. I just need to change the shoes, meaning the circumstances. And then there is actually a way for me to make all of this work. Of course, before I also tried a lot of different things, trying to make it work for me, but I was never really sure whether I should stick to something, like a certain path or not, because there was no certainty whatsoever. And now that I have the diagnosis, I know for sure that some things will work for my specific brain if I stick to it. Or with ADHD, it might be more of like, okay, you need a lot of different things happening in your life and maybe you just need to change it up every few months. Whatever. There's this saying that if you know one person with ADHD, you know one person with ADHD, because it can be so different for every single person. So whatever I say here, it's just about me and not about ADHD in general. So yeah, before ending therapy, my therapist gave me a lot of things that I can work with that she specifically picked for my symptoms, my type of ADHD, and that I can start to work with now. I was also lucky enough to find a neurologist, which means I will have the opportunity to also try out medication. This is all still relatively new to me. So I cannot really tell you what works for me yet, but I have not had this much hope and optimism in my life and in my body and in my soul for a really long time. Finally being able to understand myself on a much deeper level, like basically understanding my brain and not feeling guilty anymore for everything that doesn't work out, because I do not have a neurotypical brain, changes everything. I have in fact cried about this a lot. I have also kind of grieved the years in which I didn't know that my brain was different from others. Years in which I was really hard on myself, thinking things like, oh, I'm just not disciplined enough. Oh, but it works for others. Oh, why do I have less energy? Like I should be able to do more work hours and stuff. While now I know that I have basically unlimited potential, but I just really have to do it my way, which means a way that's healthy for my brain. Because from my perspective and how I see it, and I know there's different opinions on ADHD and how to call it, but from my perspective, it's not an illness. Like, I'm not sick, my brain is not wrong, it just works differently. And the reason that is a problem is not my brain, but it's the society I live in, and it just does not match at all. But I'm very determined to find my way, and I wanted to share this with you because although this is not a universal experience, there is a lot of power in people just telling their personal stories, because someone out there might be able to relate to maybe even just a tiny little detail that changes something in the way they see themselves, or maybe the way I live and the way I will try to embrace who I am and not make myself small will give somebody else the courage to also be themselves, be kinder to themselves. So yeah, if that sounds good to you, I would be super happy to welcome you as a new subscriber, or if you've been here already and want to keep watching, thank you so much. And I'm so happy you're still watching even after me disappearing for so long. I really hope, but I have a good feeling that this is going to be a really good next chapter of my life. There is still a lot to figure out, but I'm certain that I have enough hope and determination to make it work. And I can't wait to take you along in more videos. And now that I have this new apartment, there's also quite a lot of projects that I want to take on. I'm sending you so much love. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye!